Hello again from Caesars, Southern Indiana, the site of the 24th Annual Derby City Classic, just outside of Louisville, USA. I'm in the ACCUSTATS arena in front or behind of the 5x10 Diamond Bigfoot. This is the Diamond Bigfoot 10-ball challenge. And ladies and gentlemen, let me ask Derby City, are you ready to find out who's going to the championship? We started with 16 of the greatest players in the world. We're down to 3, and only one of these guys is going to move on to meet Shane Van Boening in the championship. And now it is time to find out. First up, he defeated John Morra in round 1. Joshua Filler, the defending champion last evening. He's a 2017 American Straight Pool champion and the 2018 European 9-ball champion. Sponsored by Erg, Buren, and Predator from Lublin, Poland. Make some noise for Kinder Konrad Juszczyszyn. And his opponent got here through Roland Garcia and Mieszko Fortunski yesterday. He's a U.S. Open 10-ball champion, All-Japan champion, and the China champion as well. Sponsored by Vann Corteza from Davao City, Philippines, the Slayer, Vann Corteza. We're lagging for the break. Our referee is Mr. Ricky Bryant, sending it up to the ACCUSTATS Skybox and Mark Wilson.
Thank you, Derek. Semi-final action here at the Bigfoot Challenge, and we have great firepower versus tactical excellence. Mark Wilson and Jeremy Jones here with all of you. Jeremy, what have you seen from these two this week?
Well, a lot what you said, and I think, two guys that rely on their strengths, but as maybe something you wouldn't label their strengths is getting better as the event goes along as well. Vann, we talk about him when he gets comfortable with the ball pocketing, like not questioning himself so much, not worrying so much. His tactical play is what makes him one of the most steady guys in this event year in, year out that hasn't won it, really. He's been in the semis quite a few times. And then Konrad, I think, is kind of like Fortunski, I think, one of their first times play on the 10-footer, and he's just getting better and better with it. Unique, you'll see maybe two guys that break with an open-hand bridge, definitely Vann. He does that pretty much all the time. You may see Konrad go the closed bridge and go with a little firmer break.
Konrad's won the lag. This will be a race to 11.
Yeah, the bridge tells me he's gonna go with a little more of the power. Had some funny things happen in his match last night with the break. Kind of went dry at the end.
Both the balls that were right behind the 1 ball dropped in the side. That's what they try to make. The 8 ball covers the 1 to impede it from being an offensive shot. Maybe he can hit the edge.
He can hit some of it, and he can see enough of it, but he can't put spin on the ball to get up table, I don't think. This is an awkward shot.
So you can see where he's pointing. He's going to 2-cushion or 3-cushion the cue ball down table.
Oh, he got a lot out of it, Mark. So that's a very comfortable stroke on something he made look easy that wasn't very easy.
This isn't even an easy ball to hit now.
No, the 8's in the way. He may have to go 1 rail just by the 4 off that long rail that he's standing near and just go 1 rail at it. The 8's a huge ball as far as how the guys like to kick, which would be 3 rails, 2 to 3 rails underneath. He's got to just come 1 rail across. This is the most awkward kick there is.
It's also very hard to get separation.
Yeah, he's got to hope he just maybe makes it. Oh, he was off by a piece. And all those hits right there, when you don't feel like, like you said, not much separation, you don't feel like much good is going to happen, it's easy to want to overhit it, and then you lose accuracy and don't get the hit at all. See it quite often.
Spot on, Jeremy. What happens is when you don't feel like much good is going to happen, then you don't apply yourself to the stroke because it wasn't even close. I mean, my goodness, I could come out of the booth and make a better pass at it than that. That was.
Yeah, and the thing is you get a little more leaning towards luck versus accuracy. And that's just how it is. It becomes a little more mental than it does physical. It wasn't the physical that cost him there. It was how he kind of approached it. And that's just a little experience, really.
Well, he broke his whole system. They didn't have a pause. It just went off in his hand. And I wasn't even ready to watch it the way he did it.
Right.
And what you want to do is you want to pile up quality deliveries on every shot so that becomes your habit and your nature. If you allow yourself to be lax, it's like going 3 steps the wrong direction. And, you know, that's what Gorst doesn't do. That's what Allison Fisher doesn't do, or Nick Varner.
Yeah.
They adhere rigidly to form.
And what Mark's really getting at is even if the decision is a little so-so, that's what I always talk about with the stroke itself. You know, I've seen guys that didn't really know the game very well, to be honest with you, for pros, win tournaments because they made some so-so decisions, but they went through their execution incredibly well.
Yeah.
And just like right there, that kick shot, he kicked at it hard, which I think was the wrong way to kick at it. But even so, if he went through and really took his time with the stroke, kicking at it hard, he probably gets a lot better attempt. And just the one thing I know about the shot is I learned it from Efren. All those funny ones that didn't look like you're going to escape much, he kicked kind of light at them a lot of times.
Yeah.
Maybe end up on top of the ball. Just kind of try to get another shot at the table somewhere or another.
Konrad takes advantage of ball in hand, clears up the table, and now leads the match 1-0. And for anybody watching that wants to improve their game, if you go through and pile up Efren Reyes videos from back, the vintage ones, and watch him in those tactical situations like that, and watch what Jeremy's saying, you'll learn a ton. And he's the only pro I've ever watched intently that has impeccable shot selections. All the other pros have once in a while, they're not sure, but because of Efren's billiards background, he just does not make mistakes on the
Percentage
decision.
play, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He might execute wrong, but he does not make the wrong shot.
Yeah, and, you know, and the thing is about kicking is, you know, it can be a little frustrating because you could say to yourself, you can go a month without it working out. You know, hitting the ball, still giving up a shot. Hitting the ball, still giving up a shot. But it's just, again, a long-term kind of thing when you play percentages on it. And then you have tournaments you escape quite often, and then you win them. All right, we'll see a little contrast in the break, even though to start the match yesterday, I thought Lee Vann broke as well as anyone when it came to results. We'll see an open hand bridge.
Lee Vann, on his route to the semifinals here, has 5 breaking runs out of his 22 racks that he's won. Konrad Juszczyszyn, on the other hand, only had 2.
All right, I think he broke mainly from the right yesterday, I thought, so maybe changing it up a hair. Both of the side balls hit a hair long. And to me, the long side, when the side balls, that's not as far off of the correct break to me. It's when they start hitting really short is when I would worry a little more. It seems like when they hit a little long, the guys start to dial it in.
Maybe it's just a little misfortune.
Yeah, maybe. Could be. All right, just floating behind the 3-8. And this is where the guys training so much, a lot of those open, middle of the table kind of safeties are played a lot more in today's game, I think, than they used to be. Used to be run to the rail, right? Mm-hmm. Now the guys use their skill set so well to just float behind balls in the middle of the table.
Boy, I thought that ball was in.
Yeah, and he's going to love this. This is difficult for sure.
Super difficult to hit this one.
Yeah, the 4's got a little bit of things cut off.
He's going to have to go around the 7, and that's going to be soft. Well, no, he's not.
He's trying to get an edge.
2 rails?
Oh, one rail. Oh, pretty smart hit.
Oh, wow.
And solid hit
Look at
as
the
well.
spin on the cue ball. Still twirling.
Yeah, he's going to have a stretch here. Probably keeps it simple. The billiard on the 9's not difficult, but you got to kind of turn the 1 loose a little. And you're shooting with a bridge. So do you roll through and put him behind the 9 here, Mark?
I like that. That's real conservative. You don't want to, just give up something. Make them earn it.
Yeah, it's not the prettiest and devastating snooker. But again, you're making him kick early.
Right. Oh, he doesn't have to come out of this good. That's the idea. Just keep making your opponent make lower percentage plays.
And he's going to fluke it. He's got a look, I believe. Oh, no, that camera view told me that I don't know if he can make it. I definitely can see it. And maybe he can put a little left spin to make it. But the problem is, if he can't draw the ball or go forward, where's the shape? Like if he has to like put a little left just to make it, not really work the rock. Looks like he's drawing it. Yeah.
And Lee Vann's got that kind of punchy stroke to it. You could see a real quick exchange from backswing to foreswing there. He knew it was trouble all the way, and his stroke revealed that he felt that anxiety about it.
Well, if you notice, and we'll see if he's going to have another draw stroke come up in this match, that's for sure. Even with the short, quick transition or, stroke, technique, whatever you want to call it, when he draws the ball when he's in stroke, at least years ago, he still always held the finish, kind of like went through and held the finish. And you could tell he kind of retracted the cue quickly away, and that's someone that's kind of hit at the ball a little bit more than stroke through it. Kind of like Hopkins to me. It was amazing how short he could be, but still, didn't give up going through the ball.
Right.
Okay, big tester here, drawing off the 8. Just subtly drawing off the 8.
Elevated over the 9, boy.
Yeah, his strength, though. His strength. He
How
didn't
pure
even catch
did he
the
hit
8.
it?
Wow.
How pure did he hit that?
He may have gotten a pretty bad roll of a really nice shot. Now, this is one you will jump if it's just a sliver with the full cue. I like jumping it versus, like, say you have to do a little level masse, which is a little left. I probably like jumping it a little bit more if it's just a sliver. Oh, he can get at it. Probably putting a little left. Oh, wow. Heart of the pocket.
Picking up right where he left off last night, where he was so smooth, and making tough balls and making them look pretty comfortable.
Now, he didn't look, but is he shooting the gap here, Mark? Oh, he could force over. Wow. Well, I kind of think the 10-footer because, Konrad, of course, is not a terrible cue ball, but compared to some of the other players, it's a little more loose at times. But he just, like I said, really relies on that straight shooting. And but with the 10-footer, maybe a little more open space at times. Yeah. Maybe even feeling a little bit of an advantage over some on the ball pocketing. So, little things add to a little more confidence, I think.
I mean, how much do you like the way he came out? If you were his manager or coach or something, like, boy, like in boxing they call it getting off first, and that's kind of how this is here. He's already starting to put some combinations together here of successful, high-quality shots.
Yeah, and time at the table, too, early in the match. Nothing really has gone well early for Lee Vann, so polar opposites at the moment.
2-0.
And now breaking in game number 3.
Roll into rack 3.
The match before, boy, that was high-energy match. Van Boning played tremendous pool against Roberto Gomez, who was in the 900s most of the way, maybe even into the 900s.
I think he was right at 900.
But still ended up with a devastating loss.
Yeah.
I think the score at one point was 3-3.
Yeah.
And then it was just all Van Boning thereafter.
Yeah, and Shane, I thought stayed a very smart aggressive as well. Meaning there were a couple shots he could have looked at the safety, but he stayed aggressive. But then when it was obvious to play the good safety, he was right on point and broke the balls like Zeus. Oh, look at that hit. See how they went a little long?
Yeah, they did.
The 9 ball, though.
6 ball.
Yeah.
And the 9 ball.
Watch
and
out.
a nice shot on the 1.
And Konrad used to be a pretty fast player, and he's still never even close to slow, but talked about last night towards the middle of his match. The pace around the table looked to me like right on point. Just kind of the same from shot to shot, and and it looked like he was very happy, kind of comfortable with what he was doing. But you don't have to be smiling, but peace of mind goes a long ways in this game.
Yeah, you have to enjoy your work.
Yeah, playing nicely here for the lefty to reach this easily. Perfect angle, kind of like ball in hand. I stay underneath here. I understand coming above, but you're already underneath. The 7's pretty near. You're going to draw up a little closer to it as well.
You have to stay on that rail. I don't think he can get away from it now. So he's going to have to draw back to play it in the side, or maybe he can play it in the same corner where he's at now. Yeah, he's looking.
For some reason, he must have the angle. Well, I'm surprised he doesn't just pinch it back for the side. I understand the 7 doesn't pass the 8, so you're only going to one pocket, but does that go by the...
No, I don't think so. Or I didn't think so. I thought he was going to play it in the side, but anyway, yeah, he's back cutting this ball. So
this is where if you can become comfortable leveling the cue out, not saying that low outside isn't the shot, but you need to practice being able to run off of this if you can. It's a very calm way to shoot it. It's just a high ball and okay, good finish to the stroke there. That was definitely the shot, but I'm saying in future references at times you need to become very comfortable going forward with that when you're behind the ball. It's an uncomfortable way to shoot it, but you need to have it. Nick Varner messaged me this morning saying he was coming in for the end of the Banks into one pocket, so maybe here tonight sometime. I think the Banks does finish tomorrow, though. A lot of heat on Lee Vann.
yeah, real quick, 3-0.
Has a 3-game advantage now, 3-0.
Yeah, we know the Banks won't finish tonight because they have to put the table in. So we know that's not happening.
Plus with the record-breaking fields, right?
Right.
And to be fair, the tighter pockets, they're going to lend towards a little bit longer matches at times.
Lee Vann back to his happy place here for the break. 5-9, right behind the 1. 6-8 on the corners.
Yeah, they went long again.
That was the 4-ball tracking.
Yeah.
No good. 6-ball found the mark, though.
Yeah, and 3-0 makes you want to be aggressive here on this bank. And with a high ball, it does track for shape. The bank's a little tougher on the 5x10, but we'll see how he likes to play it. It's not laying too bad, though, Mark. All right, he's going to chop it, put the 1 below the 8, cue ball a couple rails by the 7, behind the 10, something like that. This is where I always liked it. All right, he's going to play it nicely, I think, with a good float. That's the other opportunity to shoot the shot. Looks to me the in-rail kick's very doable, right? To the back rail, up behind the 1? No?
Yeah, you would think he would spin in like that kick and stick type of effect.
This is very surprising if he goes to the side here. Like
and the 8 may have him cut off worse than we think.
Yeah.
Now he's looking at it, so I guess it is there.
Yeah, when the 1's that high, you can add a lot of spin to get into it, right? So.
Right.
Oh, he's elevating too. So
maybe he does have to twist it in there a little bit more than we thought. Yeah.
Wow, what a hit.
And with that much arc on the cue ball, that really takes the pace out of the mass of the cue ball for it to stick there. Now the 1 dripped up, and you don't know how it's going to come out. You just know what has the percentage play to it.
Yeah, I mean, once he hit the shot, he had to be happy the way he struck it. Just didn't, get the snooker. Of course, his opponent's got to earn it. Big shot for Lee Vann.
He didn't really jump on it that time. He kind of got through it smoother.
Yeah, and then he had a little jump after it was over with, but nothing during the stroke, that's for sure. Cheat the pocket a little here. Use the second rail mark.
Oh, yeah, I think so because it plays your speed so much better.
Yeah, you can be aggressive. You don't have to worry about sliding into position. That's going to be perfect for a stop your ball to cut the 4 and come back down table. Should be able to reach it no problem when he's shooting the 4. And this is where speed can still be pretty crucial. And be careful, don't try to get too close to the 5 when you come back down, because you could fall underneath it on that rail and get really steep. So you see how he stayed real wide of it? That way if he falls a little underneath on the speed, it's still not too thin. And that's just little things that help your percentages is all. It's not like it has to happen that way or you have to do that. It's just it helps it a little bit. This is easy, top right. Just come to the center. Again, you can go past center a hair. Wow, why did he hit it so hard?
He wanted this angle.
I know, but he could have put right and, like, spread the cue ball off the second rail up into there.
I think it was a little flatter because look at how short it came out.
Yeah, but I was right down the line here on the shot, and he hit it to the thick side of the pocket a little bit as well. So still, he got the premium. Nice shot there.
Yeah, that was. And now he's in perfect line.
He's good. I think that shot on the 5 ball just kind of surprised me as well.
Yeah.
I kind of expected him to smooth it around with a little top inside. Shane likes that shot a lot when he gets a little flat to warp it and make it kind of bend inside that side pocket. Does it a lot on the TV table. Oh, really pressing and taking dead aim there on a very important game here early.
And 10 balls hits the heart of the pocket. 3-1 is our score.
Cuts a lead to 2, heading into round 5.
In front.
3 games to 1, and Konrad Juszczyszyn will have the break.
I feel a little different vibe today, almost like players, fans, whatever you want to call it, everyone here is just kind of settled in a little bit more. It was kind of like a very exciting vibe the first day or two, and it's still very exciting what's going on, but like maybe everyone's got their schedule down a little more now, a little more calm and kind of tending to business,
No, everybody's kind of gotten the step here.
Yeah,
enjoying it, taking it in. Action everywhere, every table in the place, night and day.
Yeah, but you can kind of, when you first get here, the adrenaline's going so nicely, you can kind of overdo it. Now, he's got the 4-railer tracking real well, so with the side pocket balls kind of hitting a little high, that's an important one as far as an extra. Huge shot here.
He made 2 balls on the break, and now this opening shot of the inning here, very important. If he can get this down, this rack is runnable.
Well, this is where your technique has so much to do with it. If you hit it perfect, doesn't matter the technique. But when you're a little longer, a little calmer, you don't have to hit this shot quite in the center of the pocket.
See how still he stays? Very good.
But you see how he rubbed the rail, too, with that good tempo, right? If you jab at that ball wants to hang a bit more. He's very confident at the moment. Can he pull it up the side rail and play the 3 in the opposite corner, Mark?
He's looking at the side just because he doesn't want to move the cue ball a whole lot.
Yeah, but going into those sides, unless you can really get premium to get on the 4,
That's right. Yeah, I do think he'll end up, no, he looks like he's cinching it.
2 rails. Oof. Man, I can't believe he really didn't draw up the side rail there.
Well, this got real tough now. You're going to have to roll it into the side, and then you have to play kind of a funny angle on the 4.
Yeah. The key to this, in my opinion, is don't let up. I mean, you're not going to fire it, but go ahead and put a confident stroke. I hit them side pockets much better whenever I'm a little more confident, not trying to, cinch it so much. A rare miss, and in my opinion, from Konrad on an open ball. Is he drawn into the 5 here? Is that not enough angle to stun by the 5 maybe, but kind of drawn into the 5 a little?
Well, I would think he would. Yeah, I mean, if he has to, I guess, but I would think he wouldn't want to do that.
See how
he was stun draw.
But you see how the angle was funny. Not enough to really go down the side of the table, but not enough to draw straight back either. Really got the premium out of it, in my opinion.
From where he was at. That was you don't go super low on the ball and you hit downward on the cue ball so it hops a little bit, and then that little fragment of backspin takes.
That's exactly right. Oh, great speed here on a shot that could get away from me on this table. And just pay attention to the great players. Cue ball goes a long ways, but it's never moving that fast. That's the key. Get the most out of the rotation on the cue ball. That's why, the difference is you don't really hear pros say, oh, I kissed off 2 balls and scratched. I mean, that just doesn't happen just because there's never that much pace on the cue ball. It has to be a very unique situation. All right, just a little light stun. Nothing too heavy. The thing I see with some of the vets, you might call them, and certainly we'd call Lee Vann a veteran, is in our sport for a long time, you learn from the veterans, right?
Yeah.
But the way the sport has changed a little bit, training, this and that, whatever you want to call it, I think the vets are learning as well from the younger guys. That's what I kind of see.
3-2, and to your point about learning, I mean, just watching and marveling all these matches I get to broadcast, I think now, gosh, I wish I could go back. No, really,
I know, I agree.
I so wish I could I'd train so much more efficient. I wasn't lazy about it, but I didn't know some of these techniques, and I could have perfected them, and I would have had I known. We didn't have technology, we didn't have the know-how, we didn't have the abundance of elite players that the world offers today.
And I think if you're wanting to learn and really, like I said, develop that gut instinct, try to learn how the balls react. A lot of people, it's much more about the physics part of the game to really get a lot better than it is like geometry, the angles, and this and that. The angles come. That kind of inherently you'll learn it. But when you learn how the balls react, I think that's when you're really going to start to excel. That's what Efren knows the best. He just knows how the ball's going to react. So you can always play percentages that way.
Couple of quality runouts here from Lee Vann to make the score 3-2.
All right.
Good open break. 8-ball found the mark. He's going to get a shot on the 1. Little kiss. No. Not much of a shot, but maybe a safe.
Yeah, it's a little awkward stretch with the bridge, just because you can't necessarily just knock the 1 away easily because the 9's there.
Well, I think the slow roll and just bring the cue ball just to the other side of the 6 ball here.
Very good. 1 ball will just float up above the 9, just barely.
If you try to stun the 1 ball down table and just trickle the cue ball over, he can get away from you, and even easier with the bridge. So you want to make sure you have an obstruction in the way.
And you'll notice he looked at the left. He stunned it instead of rolling it. He looked at the left side of the 1. And recognized that wasn't anything great. Them guys are always wanting to run it for separation. So I think he made a good choice, just didn't get the execution.
Yeah, he hit the cue ball too low. It didn't have the roll. He should have just rolled it and cinched it rather than try to stun it over there and get something more out of it.
It's got to go a piece, doesn't it?
Good, yeah. He got him. Now he might be able to half-mass A to it. And he didn't get him as locked up as he maybe wanted, but he won't be shooting directly at the 1.
Well, for one of the types of safeties where you just roll the ball forward on another ball, that was one of the more awkward ones because you're cutting the ball by it and you're coming on the face of it knowing the 1's going to open up. So it's a little scary. Unlucky there.
Yeah.
The Masse was definitely the shot. Now this, not saying you got to, right? But the 2 does easily pass by the 5. You could easily drop the cue ball below the 3 onto the 2 with the 3 not too far away. You could go with a high ball here. Now he's going to draw into the cut on the 2 and come across like this, which is fine as well. Just got to really kind of pay attention to where the cue ball is coming across at.
Yeah. Now he's debating whether he wants to try to introduce a little bit of right side spin and go between the 3 and the 10, or left side spin and go between the 10 and the 7.
Yeah, and I think for the most part, that's more about making sure he doesn't get flat on the rail over there straight in, and just trying to make position on the 4 a little easier.
Yeah.
He could have come above the 7 easy, but then it could get a little funny.
Mm-hmm. If you have to go thin, then it's hard to hold that for the 4 on the side. Okay, good deal.
Yeah. Oh, he'll just float this in, I assume. Could go forward and try and get fatter, but I like keeping it a little thin. He's going to try to spin into straight. I didn't realize that was an option.
Look outside pocket.
He got like beautiful. And this is where don't try to make the ball come off. Understand the little angle. The more you bring it back, the more it will come off the rail. That's just how it is, right? Even though it's a little angle, you always want to force it into more coming off the rail, but the further you come back, it has to come off the rail, right? So it got a little funny with the 9 being here, Mark.
So this is where you're going to see that little in-between draw, or is he leveling out? No, he's going to draw. Okay.
Yeah, he's drawing, like a nip draw. Yeah, like that.
So that's that in-between shot.
Yeah, and the thing on that shot is you always, until you learn better, you want to put a little left to throw it, thinking you can hit it fatter, but that's when you can have some issues. Remember, that straight draw will grab the ball easily. And the reason why I say that is with those in-between little subtle strokes, you want to stay away from that side spin if you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the instinct is to put it on there, but the reality is it costs you some accuracy.
Yeah, and really when it comes to holding the ball, it doesn't help, because when you put left on it, it wants to kind of go left off the contact immediately, and then the draw takes.
And his position play was another one of those little in-between strokes that he's hitting perfectly right now. It just looks like that's where the cue ball wanted to go. Instead, he made it go there. 4-2 is our score. Real nice quality run out there.
The guys are playing great.
Regains a 2-game lead. 4-2.
You figured it. It's the semifinal of the 2023 Bigfoot Challenge.
He'll have the break.
Yeah, Juszczyszyn playing at a 955 clip here after 6 racks, and Levon at 900. So world-class pool. 10-foot table, 4 1/8-inch pockets.
Yeah. And Turning Stone, I think, has turned into a better event now, more quality. I think it's going to get better and better, but always feels like the Derby's the one that really starts the year, right?
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, I even stated that. Then I forgot. Yeah, we already had an event.
Yeah.
We're getting off good.
And all those events are growing now, even more so, just because of the sport doing it.
Well, and the Moscone Cup points helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we got more of a tour going on.
Yeah, things getting tied together, and now Konrad to break.
6 and the 8 right behind the 1.
Didn't get the pop on the ball like he had been so far anyways. A little flatter off the rack with the cue ball, and now this happens sometimes. Your opponent breaks perfect, runs a couple racks. They miss the break a little bit, and now good luck trying to run out.
Boy, that 2-ball's in a treacherous place to get on. There's not much of a pocket for it. You almost have to play for a bank.
Well, that's the thing. Everything about the rack is just kind of ugly. You know, if the 7 wasn't there, yeah, the bank on the 2 offers you a nice shot on the 3, but the 7 happens to be there. So everything's just kind of funny here. And he's kind of forced to shoot.
Boy, got a shot to nothing. He hit that. Can't fault him. It was that tough, but.
Yeah, where do you go here? He's not shooting.
Dangerous. Super dangerous here. It's going to be hard to do something really great defensively.
Would you casually knock the 2 rails on the other side rail, maybe go through the ball towards the 5 with the cue ball? You know, you're putting the 2 on the side rail, 3's back pinned, you know.
Recognizing that you're not going to leave him Yeah, he tried to play the combination, but it was a combination that led to very little.
You hit the nail on the head there. He knew he was playing rail first. He knew he wasn't hitting it that hard. I kind of felt like, if he thought about it, probably realizes he's not going to get a shot on the 2, even if he makes the 5.
Right.
Running the cue ball here.
That was his speed.
It's going to be on the 8, I think.
Looks really good. Oh, boy. Konrad has really executed well in the early stages of this match.
Well, no fluke on that, by the way. We talked about clipping the ball and being able to go other places when it's on the back rail.
Yeah.
And go watch a Euro Tour event. And all you see these guys is doing that over and over and over and over, and they become so good at it. Look, he's not even going to take on the 2-rail kick. This isn't the easiest ball to tie up right here. Yeah, I don't understand that. I mean, that's tougher or just as tough as 2-rail kicking at the 2.
As a point, though, you don't mind taking a foul, but it has to be a productive foul. You can't just take a foul, And he probably should have worked a little bit harder on that one or made a different decision. Like, he could have put the 8 on the 6 or over the 4.
Just liked him kicking at it. I mean, he's a great kicker of the ball. The 2 rails lays to separate the ball. You got some traffic, right?
And I'm not saying that was,
No, I understand.
If you are going to take a foul.
Yeah, right. No, I get it.
It can't be this. You got to do something better with your foul.
Well, no. It's only 4-2, so we won't get out of hand with it. But we talked about what the strengths were to start the match, right? And so we've seen a couple kick shots that Lee Vann kind of just went at, not really very controlled and then the mental got him a little bit there as well, I think, and that's the thing he keys on a lot of times.
Rack number 1, he took the wild kick
shot,
and then now here it was a sloppy, and you only get so many turns. You have to maximize each and every one of them, and so it's nothing wrong with making the decision to take a foul, but you have to work harder. You got to tangle something up.
He got a little thin to come all the way back, so we'll see how he plays it. He's going 4 with inside. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Super power stroke. Great job. Now, he didn't want to fall real flat here. He didn't.
Yeah, he can shove it, though.
He can do a lot of things here.
This is where that stun 1 rail, you learn it all kinds of ways like that. And the thing is, he has all the tools to play position where he needs, like that 4-railer right there,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got power, he's got the smoothness, and he's got the accuracy from long range.
Oof. And he's got the stroke, like right there. In my opinion, anyways, his good stroke helped a little miss hit on the 6 there, and the 6 didn't really even think about hanging up.
Yeah, on these pockets, they're unforgiving. If you hit them just a little crude, they miss.
So possibly, let's see, it's going to be 4-3. So Konrad breaking in the next, but next time Lee Vann gets an opportunity, it may be time to go get a breath of fresh air, take his time out. You only get 1 of them, so you feel like you want to save it a little bit, but sometimes you got to take it a little early, and it's very just.
Yeah, that's.
It's his break.
When you win, you lose from your intentional foul. It was a pretty bad shot, and it really hurts your momentum, the psyche part of it, your psychology. Like, what am I doing? This guy, Konrad is not backing off. He's taking advantage of every opportunity he's had.
Yeah. And just look at the 2 players, and of course one of them has the lead and has had more time at the table, but just initially from the get, a little more stressful look on Lee Vann's face than Konrad's. And that's always going to be the case. That's just how the veterans are, a little bit more than the younger guys. Even though I consider Konrad a pretty good vet. He's been playing these events now 10 years probably. All right, 5-2. We've already got one of our guys for the finals. That's SVB, and no surprise there. Ooh.
Yeah, not at the time he needed it, but he let the cue ball get by the side, and then misfortune struck and knocked him in the side.
Absolutely.
So you can't completely just say bad luck.
Yeah, he sent it over there.
Now what's going on with that 7 ball over there? That looks like there could be an issue.
7-10 looks okay to me.
Oh, the 7-10, the side.
It doesn't look bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks better than the 7-8. Let's say that.
It looks better than and trying to break them out and hope. So
he's got tons of options here. He can play off the side rail to swing the ball. He can go all the way to the other short rail and then draw up the side of the table between the 10 and 5 to get on the 3. He's got a lot of options. I kind of like going to the bottom rail. Only reason being is you don't figure the 5 to be a problem, but the 5 doesn't pass the 6, I don't think. So we got to start thinking about getting a little heavier on the 3. Okay, let's see how his thin hit here. All right, he's going to come in 3 between the 5-6 off the 3rd rail. So if he falls a little bit behind the 3 here, he may not be able to get position on the 5.
he may not go the 3rd rail. He might just go 2 rails and just come to the
and float to the middle, right?
Right.
If the 5 goes, that's what you're supposed to do, in my opinion.
Now
See,
he's going around.
Yeah, he's going to contact it. He's going to contact it.
Wow, working out great. If that,
It's just
I think
fine.
he's okay.
Yeah, he'll look at the 7-10, make sure the 5 goes, of course. But you got to start to size the 7-10 up, right?
Yeah, I didn't see him even glance. I was watching his body language.
I think it's already in his mind.
Yeah, that might be the case too.
Yeah, I mean, he has a huge area to draw off the 6 to come back down for the 7-10.
Love his tempo for a broadcaster. This keeps your energy up.
Oh, yeah. And he's always played fairly quickly.
Well, it's a joy for everybody, the fans too.
Perfect float here. And again, he's very in tune with the bed of the table. See how it's just coasting into position?
Yes.
That's ideal. Well, there you have it.
And Juszczyszyn makes
Well, you can see just how quickly matches can get away from you here because it's just been a handful of innings right now. And here's our break. You can see the break again. Cue ball goes over by the side. Now, something bad can happen, and something happened bad did happen. So
Yeah. And, the compounding thing is Konrad playing really well behind those 2 or 3 errors, right?
Right. There was a couple little bit lackadaisical tactical aspects to it. And then, now a misfortune into the side, and boop, there we are.
Yeah, 6-2, is that right?
I thought it was 6-2, but they didn't move the score. So am I wrong?
I think it's 6-2, right? 4-2, 5-2. No, 5-2 is correct. 5-2 is correct, yeah.
Okay.
I thought that Vann had won the lag. Well, I don't know. Now I'm confused a little bit. No, Vann broke in the last. At 4-2, he did win the lag, so. 6-2? 6-2? I think it's 6-2. Yeah, because 5-2 on the last game.
Okay.
I'm almost 100% at 6-2 now.
I also thought it was 6-2, and it is. Okay. Cue ball got away.
Yeah, but the 4-railer holds much better, it seems like, when you can get that little bit more of a power. That 4-railer, you bank it, right? Mm-hmm. Well, when the stroke's good, the side spin it has kind of holds more where the line holds. Well, when the stroke ain't as good or is not as much power, it kind of spins, kind of comes off the 4-railer, and it kind of goes a little long to the end rail usually. Mm-hmm. He's getting that connection to where it's not only holding tight real well with the line, but it's got a lot of pace on it as well. Okay, you can roll out by the 6 is the rollout to where you can kick, kind of bank the 1 rail over by the 7, trying to use the 4. Not sure where he's going here. Yeah, I like rolling out by the 6 myself. He's going to roll out to a small little sliver of the 1. Can't roll out to all of it. Wow. Surprising to me there. Surprised he rolled out to the entire ball.
Yeah, Vann for sure is not going to give this back no matter what happens.
Never. Yeah, he didn't get there.
He left a shot, it looks like.
A good shot, too. So, again, the tactical side of things getting the best of the guy that we felt like
probably had the best of that side of it.
Yeah, he does. He can't make it though. Great camera view here. Watch out for the little kiss on the 7. Okay.
Good work.
Yeah.
Lee Vann will kick 2 cushions maybe at the 1 ball. No way.
I think he can get at the 1. I don't think, of course, it's an easy cut shot or anything, but the problem is if he doesn't cut at it, he tries to send the 1 down with the 7 hanging.
Right.
If he doesn't get the snooker, there's a lot of plays on the 7. So going for the shot here.
Good
wow.
shot.
How often does that happen? You overcut it just a sliver and scratch up in the corner.
That's pretty hard luck there, though.
Yeah. Can't stop the bleeding at the moment,
right.
Mark.
He's trying to get some offense going. He took a chance there. And
well, I think it was the right play percentage-wise.
Yeah,
I think the safety was very difficult, especially with the 7 hanging. Yeah. Okay, he's got some work, though. Okay, he's got to play a 6-7 combo, so he's got to get a little angle on it, most likely, unless he's going to play from underneath. The 8 doesn't pass the 9. He's going to play from underneath. Now, does this mean he's going into it at 2 rails, or is he just going to subtly get behind it? That's what I was wondering right there, and that's not always the worst play. Especially if you understand foot speed, like I'm going to bump it a foot away, like they say in 3 cushion when you come into the foot speed, right?
Yeah. Well, this really helps a lot. He would have liked to have had the cue ball along the long rail to play position off the 7 onto the 8, but he doesn't have that. But he went and looked where the cue ball is going to be.
Yeah.
Now, is he just going to go inside spin?
Yeah, just thin it, right?
Yeah, just thin?
Yeah, just thin it. This is just all using your talent. Oh, he's going rail first. So he likes, that hooked on him. That hooked on him. And that's when I was talking about, Mark, when you get into the cue ball just a little extra, it just wants to hydraulic just a hair off of there. You see that a lot on the Moscone Cup table.
But the other thing here is if you put topspin, it hooks more. If you go center ball with that English and go rail first, it expands.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't want to. So both ways, yeah.
That's that billiard side, and especially on new cloth, that little extra topspin wants to hook and stay on that end of the rail down there longer.
Yeah, just commit and go on up, right?
Pure shot maker.
Yeah, don't baby it, knowing the 9's very playable. Get your best stroke on the 8.
Well, that's his forte, is shooting. Although right now he's doing everything perfect.
Well, I think the shooting has actually improved just because I don't really ever see him get like let me just shoot at it, kind of whack at it kind of anymore. Occasionally when he started to grow more and more out of line with the cue ball, you know how we tend to lose it a little bit with the stroke. Now that doesn't seem to be the case at all.
It was flawless. 971. Lee Vann tried to play safe and just missed connections there just a little bit and has to get absorb maximum pain.
Match will happen at 9 o'clock here in the ACCUSTATS.
And I've been in Lee Vann's situation to where I know I should be taking my time out, but I'd sure like to get one more on my side. One game, something positive going before I got to walk away and go regroup, right?
Yeah. There has been very few innings thus far. Yeah, you see a flurry of 3 and a flurry of 4 with 2 games for Lee Vann in the middle, but very few innings. This is unlike any of the matches we've had thus far. This is fast break offense from Juszczyszyn.
Yeah, we've had some of these score lines, but they've been a battle, like the guys battling for the first shot almost every game, maybe a break and run here and there. Oh, he got the ball down in the corner. The 5's going to get.
Give him a shot.
He got a shot. I don't know. It's close. I think he can spin it in though. I wouldn't say a tough rack if he can get at the 1, but definitely a lot of work. A little touchy situations. anytime you have the 7 to the 8 like that, you're going to have to work the ball and then back for the 10.
Well, it looks like he does have to spin it in.
Oh, and just not in tune with the stroke at the moment. That's all about having that break of the cue ball happen at the right moment. That way, you know, that way the bend of it and the English takes right and all that jazz.
Well, you can see his bridge hand was up before the cue ball got past the 5, so that indicates he was unsettled about it.
Yeah, and he's going to stay with a little angle, but nice and full. That way he can pull the ball up into the corner for the 3 in the side.
Well, I was thinking he was going to go inside spin and stay up and play it in the other corner that the 2 ball's going into, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
No, he's pulling it.
He floated it big time, though. Wow, why would you do that? Why didn't you just draw it? It wasn't very thin at all. I think he got there.
I don't think he did. Maybe.
I think he got the side.
Okay, yeah. Well, then the cue ball's going to, require some.
Go into the 6 with like a left spin. You can hit it a little fatter, just rolling the ball. I think you can go into the 6. I'm pretty sure you can, anyways. Now it's nervy because you have to roll it a little bit, but it makes sense to me.
Well, you really have to keep your mind on making the 3 when you shoot this. You can't be worried about the 6. You've already played that now. Now make the 3.
Yeah, he caught the 3 to the thin side. That's why he didn't catch the 6 quite as full. But still a pretty nice shot. Now he's going to lean on that shooting arsenal. The good thing for him is that medium stroke's been really on point, and that's all this is. He overcut it.
Yeah, speed would have been perfect if he would have connected with the pocket from there, because he overcut it a little bit and left a little more energy in the cue ball. So it was good judgments, just a slight miss.
Yeah, a little quicker on the trigger, I thought, when he was down, but, that's just us talking about it. Doesn't mean it necessarily made all the difference in the world. Wasn't no easy shot. All right, he likes this kind of shot, cutting it to the right, kind of killing the ball. 2 rails, side rail, end rail, back at the 5. Usually it's like a half a tip of left mark and a little speed. To me, it's kind of like the Filipino shot right there, to be honest with you.
He got a lot out of the cue ball from an awkward angle, so that's a great shot.
Well, that's because he didn't overhit it. And when you don't overhit it, it releases nicely. Another shot you really need to learn. Comes up a lot, and it always comes up in crucial moments, it seems like. It's just, again, a little out of whack with the timing.
Well, when you have the bridge, it's very hard to get your tip right near to the cue ball, so now you're hitting it further in the swing because you can't see how close you are.
That, too, and what you brought up yesterday, and I've noticed it a couple times today, and actually shot with the bridge a couple times last night, but he had a very heavy downward angle going into a top English shot. So that's not something that agrees too much.
If you watch snooker players that have to use the bridge a lot,
they get their body down
at
very level like that. Yeah,
you got to maximize.
Well, the elbow and the hand are at the same height. You're not going to be above the elbow with the right hand very often.
We all could learn something from bridge play with snooker players.
Oof, it did shave it. And good thing it did. It slowed it down a little bit, but. So I think he stays aggressive, whether it's the cut or the bank. Don't think you're going to see a safety here. I don't. Just at a 7-2 clip. Is he trying to put the 6 in between the 7-8?
No, I wouldn't think. That's
a lot to ask.
Plus,
coming back with the cue ball. Oh, he just had to cut it.
Well, not an easy shot here at all, but you hate to keep tempting Konrad with these long, slender slices down the rail because he's going to connect on the majority of them, and he's missed a couple.
Well, I like his chances to make it. Of course, I always bet on the great players to make the ball when they are attacking. But to me, again, say it a lot of times, go ahead and swing the cue. Probably going to slide a little better for you. Probably make the contact you want.
Yeah.
The thing that may make him want to lighten up a little Is the cue ball going to get above the 8 by any chance? I don't think it is. I think it's too much angle.
Right, because you got to cut it just a little bit.
Yeah.
So it won't go up above.
Yeah, so again, don't fire it, but don't baby it. Yeah, I love that stroke. Didn't make it, but he committed. And this looks tough to Lee Vann right now, I bet, with things not going his way. Oh, nice shot.
Great shot.
Real quality there. All right, you can stun out. You can go top and side, 2 rails. Again, a little preference here.
Straight in now. This would be Lee Vann's 3rd win in the set. 7-3 is our score.
Corteza gets one back.
Well, little chink in the armor there from Konrad. Had a couple chances there to extend that lead. Actually, 3 chances.
Yeah. But I would liken it to 50-yard field goals. You know, I mean, they don't all go in.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
He's going to start connecting on some of them.
Absolutely. Yeah, the 6 down the rail is one thing. The 5, though, that he hung, you know, for him, that's like 98 out of 100 probably, something like that. 650, not really. Feels like it's that low for Lee Vann. It's been more like limited opportunities, and, then those didn't work out either.
We're likely at the 10 to 12 inning mark.
Right.
You know, it's so early
right.
Compared to how many times you've actually been to the table here. Pretty square hit.
4-reeler on the 8 again, holding
3
his
ball.
line.
You know, things are kind of working out from the break. Even the times that you see guys break dry, here he's getting a kiss, something's getting knocked in. The 1 ball all the time is ending up over this corner pocket down here.
Yeah, that's just the 10-ball break. That's just how it is for these guys. Oh, he's got a chop suey, this sucker, and it's going to be.
Man, that is super
watch
thin.
outside pocket. Ooh, man, he's
clean.
How thin was that?
Clean. Look at that shot. Wow.
Yeah, that 4 is deep up the table.
Yeah, that's a tough ball to play position from. It's so deep because you got to deal with those points.
I might take a chance stun drawing between the 6-7 to get to that short rail by the 4 right here. I mean, you're not going to get snookered most likely. You may end up with an awkward cueing of some sort.
Exactly. You got to be careful.
Oh, he could draw it.
Okay.
And that's kind of like the 10-footer I was telling you about. It gives you a little more space from the object wall to that rail to where you can make the draw grab a little quicker. Where a 9-foot, you may have had to go back and forth there versus being able to draw up the rail.
That was a real nice shot right there, getting the cue ball back out there. It looked like it was natural. Maybe it was, but it can definitely be treacherous when it's deep in that pocket.
Well, it's almost like that rail first you were talking about. A little too much top, or if you get into the ball a little too much, it hugs and you lose your line. Now, he had a big center of the table, so hard to figure him getting snookered.
I'm liking him. He's looking at this 3-rail route to get position on the 9-ball. I like that because it plays so easily. Rather than try to do speed and draw or some type of a stroke, just let the cue ball go where it wants to and just ration out the speed.
Yeah, it's natural. And you'll broaden a little bit coming around. You always do that. Now, that's a little different. Most of the guys would have went a little aggressively into that 3rd rail, but I think he thought the ball kicked on him a little. That's why you see him.
Yeah, because it did slow up unnaturally. I wasn't sure why, because I was expecting him to go to the 3rd rail and come back out. That's how it's usually played. So I think you're right. I think it did skid just a little bit at impact. And mercifully, it left it off the rail.
Right.
If it filters in the rail, then, unexpectedly, it spooks you when you know you hit it right. Now you got to shoot a shot that you weren't planning on, especially with good execution.
Yeah, here, don't try to hold it too much. Just go ahead and draw it a little bit. Oh, he stunned over. Okay. So there was a little more angle than I thought.
Yeah.
A lot of times you'll let up trying to hold it, get a little more on top of the tin. If you're in that spot, go ahead and draw back a little bit, taking a little more cut.
Well, he got his extension. This is awkward for a left-hander. Plays great for a right-hander.
Yeah. And this with the stretch is where you'll stay away from stunning, more of a high ball, running the ball.
Yeah, you just want to trickle it in.
Yeah.
And second breaking run out of the match now for Juszczyszyn. Leads 8-3.
And he has an 8-3 lead. Vann Corteza will have the break.
.930. I meant to hit up Federer, and I was just curious about his match yesterday, and I thought he was fatigued. I ain't gonna lie. I don't label him as that kind of guy very often. But when I watched him, it just looked like he was a little tired.
We had dinner together, and he didn't indicate that at all. He just said that he had 4 or 5 dry breaks, which he normally doesn't have, and he couldn't get on track. That's what he said.
Well, that was towards the end of the match. He had those dry breaks, but he had some mistakes, that we don't see from him very often. And I thought it was what I saw on the stroke, occasionally just a little fatigue. But, like I said, he's not a guy that is going to admit much of that. And plus, he doesn't. It probably wasn't even correct, anyways, just because he's usually always prepared.
Yeah, he's not an excuse maker at all. You know, he was in the most cheerful mood too, and not like he didn't care. He does care, but he also understood taking a loss like a professional. That's going to happen when you play at this level. And so, but don't think he's done yet. He was undefeated in the bank pool when I was talking to him.
Nice shot there, Vann.
Looking forward to reclaiming his master of the title or master of the table title. He was totally invested.
The other thing he does is he always processes and learns from those wins or losses. Okay, it looks like he's trying to simplify this instead of drawing the cue ball or falling it with inside. He's got to man up here and get out to the center. And this is okay, but now it's a little much more work playing to the 4 because he didn't really want to unload a little more and get out to the center of the table. Or like I said, top inside maybe.
Yeah.
So he's got to work the ball much more here. That looks pretty perfect.
Very good shot. Well, we can see that it's shots like that will get you here.
Remember the 6 he kind of unloaded on earlier?
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to shoot someone like that shot on that one, but...
In all the years of the Bigfoot when Vann played, I think he's gotten the money, got to this stage of the tournament all but one time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable how uncanny he just gets there.
This is a funny stretch here.
And then, like you said, I think only one time has he made it to the finals, but he cashes every time in brutal fields, too. I mean, it's just pure killer after killer.
Well, it's like what I see him do in the straight pool every year before the international. Now, I don't know. Not every year, but he's played it quite often. And he's had some great results. He may have even won the straight pool over there once before, but, I don't think he would say he's a straight pool player. All right? It's just kind of like how his brain is.
Yeah.
It's so good. And if he gets to shoot a lot of short shots.
Oh, yeah.
Watch out. All right, he's got to keep the focus here. Definitely a ball. Anytime you're behind it, seems a little awkward.
This is that real tight pocket, too. When you hit like that, it's no problem.
Yeah, real clean stroke there. It's been few and far between, but still in it. Now back on the board.
Vann
Corteza wins his 4th rack.
One for Juszczyszyn and
8-4.
one there from Vann Corteza. 8 games to 4. And Konrad Juszczyszyn will have the break.
If you're just joining us, SVB played a heck of a match earlier to beat Roberto Gomez to get to our final, which will be at 9 p.m. Eastern tonight.
I'll be here.
Yeah, me too.
You know this is my favorite event of the whole Derby, right? You
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Just that match of SVB. I'd drive over from St. Louis and have to go home after watching that one set and be completely satisfied.
Nice kiss there on the 7. This is going to open up for a super nice shot on the 1.
And this is what I'm saying. You know, when things are rolling your way, look at balls are kissing and leaving shots on the 1 and going in. Not the standard ones that we're used to seeing go in.
The 3 squeezes by the 6, but it's tight. I'm right down the line there. So he's got an easy 3-9 he can play from above. Nothing wrong with that. You can cut the 3 onto the 9 from a lot of places. And that's, I think, what he's going to have to play.
Yeah, on the ball before it, I think he was trying to lightly rub the 6 because he played it with a speed that was such that suggested that, you know, if he was just getting on the 2, he wouldn't have had to use that pace, and he was just hoping to open it just lightly.
Why come into the 6 here? I don't understand that. The 3 may hit the rail and come up. You want to come up with the cue ball here. You don't want to go into the 6, I don't think.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he hit it clean enough to be fine, and that's part of it, I guess. But normally you would want to come up with the cue ball just in case the 3 comes off the bottom rail or the 9 and lays on that point. I think it was kind of like a hard one for anything to go wrong anyways, but ooh, this got a little funny. He's gonna have to
got a little
draw the
straight.
ball. Good thing is he doesn't have too much angle where the side's much of a threat at all.
And he's close to 4.
Yeah. And really, he's been in tune with the draw stroke as well as anyone in this event.
Well, I mean, in this match, you couldn't be any better.
I talk about it all the time, just kind of smoothing it around the table.
Look at the speeds. Every one of them, he's just getting right on line.
Now he's going to have to follow his ball or draw because follow because the 8 doesn't pass the 10 in the other pocket, so it's got to be. But that's the key. See how he just smoothed it again and got the maximum out of the ball. That's today's game. Actually, that stroke was better years ago on the older felt as well, but I think it's by far the best in today's equipment.
Looks like he's considered billiarding into the 10 here, moving it towards the pocket.
I agree with that. He doesn't want to catch a sliver of the 10 going forward, and then the ball get kind of goofy.
Golly. Well, the 3rd break and run out of the set here.
Yes, indeed, another.
And Konrad Juszczyszyn moves in front, 9-4.
3 in a row from these players. 9 games to 4, and Vann Corteza has the break.
You could see with just that one run out, Corteza's TPA went up like 70 points. So that shows you the lack of opportunity in this match.
Got Phil Wyndham of the Chattanooga Billiard Club sitting ringside.
Puts in a lot of miles.
Yeah, we got
going around to watch some pool.
The 3 Trainer brothers here from St. Louis.
I don't know if I know them. I think I met maybe.
Yeah, maybe. They've just come the last 2 years. But they went to Johnston City way back in the day and love pool.
A lot of stories about that event. And probably the biggest miss hit on the 1 we've seen in the match. The 2's going to come over and get a little thin, little awkward stretch. Not too bad. 3's a little covered up. He'd like to float this in with some outside and come right between the 10-9 with the cue ball. Got it a little thick. And to me, that's just not taking dead aim. You know, that's just not, I mean, that's pretty routine shot for these guys. Very comfortable cue ball path. I mean, not a whole lot of worries.
Yeah.
He's going 4 rails here off the rail first, Mark?
Yeah. Might go, more likely to go right at the 3.
Well, what I'm saying, he was looking at the long rail first. At first. At first he was. Now he's going to the other rail first, trying to skinny it up the table. Watch this speed. It's going to get perfect. Huh? Now the lefty's stretched, but he does have a cut shot.
Wow. How you rolling there? We've had quite a number of these come out where it works out where you can still get out. Now you have to, naturally great execution's required.
Yeah, this is a funny one.
It is.
But when you're running good, playing good, you're committing to the stroke, meaning he just swung it and seen what happens. A lot of good things happen. This is a funny one, though. This is where his straight shooting, he should recognize. Let me go a little further on the 4 to make sure I hit the 3 better, like right here. You see, he's not really trying to get that close to the 4. He committed to the 3. Let me lean on what I do best, which is knock these balls in. A little in between here if he's going to go into the 10 to hold. That's what I like. But like that. Because if you try to draw across it, it could easily go off in your hand and you could lose the cue ball in the side pocket. But this in-between one is where you could miss a ball. See how he hit it a little to the inside, right? And like you said, sometimes you focus on that cue ball path and you lose a little intensity. Accuracy, intensity on pocketing the ball.
Yeah, you have to be really single-minded when you execute the shot. You played the 10 ball earlier. Now you got to play the cue ball impact on the object ball.
Well, and he's shown a lot of smart pass and smart shots, especially that agrees with his game. That's what, in my mind, is a winning combination.
To me, it feels like of all the times we ever were able to broadcast a Konrad Juszczyszyn match, this is by far the best I've ever seen him throughout the whole. I've seen flashes of this, but never seen it sustained like, the last half of his match last night and the way we started today. It's almost like he's comfortable at center court.
Yeah, and I kind of think I saw some improvements from him, a little more calm, a little more out there just kind of doing his job versus getting ahead of himself. Saw that at the International, saw at the U.S. Open. Didn't win the tournament, obviously. Wasn't down there in the finals or anything, but put together a lot of quality matches.
Man, this is incredible play. This is pretty much iced the match for him.
Yeah.
And Levan, to his credit, he's just not getting enough opportunity to play bad. He can't say he played bad. There was a couple early mistakes, but it wasn't ugly.
No, the only thing he did is he kind of got that snowball rolling a little bit.
Yes.
And then Konrad went on with it and said, I got it from here.
Yeah, exactly.
To go to the championship.
9:43 on the TPA. 10-4 is our score.
He'll be breaking with a chance, again, to go to the championship.
If he could go on and win this match and then play like this in the finals and then have Shane play like he did last, whoa. Nobody will want to go home. Nobody will want it to end.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about the 10-foot, along with the 9-foot with the pockets tightened, like here we didn't have a ton of tactical, but you could see how quality the outs were just because of the setup of the tournament itself.
Yeah.
So it ain't always got to be tactical for us to really like it, just because everything's set up for quality, period.
Yeah.
Which I think is going to stick to to what we're going to see in the bigger events around the world. I don't think we're going to go back to those 4.5-inch pockets to where, you can turn your head for 4 or 5 shots, right?
Cue ball got away.
Oh. Now that's it's alternate break, excuse me. That's incorrect. I was going to say winter break. That's his last break of the match, but that's not necessarily the case. It might be just because there's a real funny 6-ball down there attached to the 9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the 8 there. Mark, it's very awkward to play off the 5 to get behind the 6. Not saying it's not possible. The 4 will be gone, so he does have the end rail to cut the 5 and maybe track the cue ball up the table. But where the 8's at limits options. Looks like he wants to draw above.
Yeah, first things first, he's got to get the right angle on this 3.
Yeah, because the 4, well, you want to draw and take the cut. Yeah, like, it's got to go a little bit. It's okay. Should be okay. Again, on the 10-foot, you can afford a lot more of a bounce off of this second rail, so don't try to baby it so much. There's a little more space to work with. He's overcut it. He's overcut it.
Yeah, that 6 is forever going to be a problem. And it's like you said, you recognized it right away. It's a problem to get to the 6 from the 5. The 7's in the way, the 8's in the way.
Yeah, you got to play out from the center of the table and use the end rail, the long side rail, past the side, right? And then just float. The problem is it doesn't pass the 8 maybe. It does pass the 7. And maybe there might be a 6-10 there, but that's a hard one to get on.
Yeah, that's smacks of desperation there.
I think he's going to play, like I said, from the center of the table. Make sure he can reach it.
And I think, staggered it in.
Yeah.
I think also this might be getting to the point where you're pre-planned safety position play.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's played pretty aggressively with position. No, that's the route, because you can play the safety from behind as well.
Oh, no, I understand. Yeah, I'm just saying maybe he's thinking even maybe trying to go into him, like bring the cue ball if we can get the overhead,
3 rails
over
in.
here. No, like this, off the end rail.
Maybe. That's actually probably better, seeing as how
he's going straight at it. Look at this shot. Look at this shot. Wow, incredible shot.
Take the pot, Konrad.
Yeah, I'm going to have to clap. That was outstanding. He had to check it up with a little inside spin to create that. That was not a natural route.
Well, and that's not him just because I'm up 10-4.
Oh, no.
No, he stays aggressive. It gets him going. It makes it a little harder to fade also if you're sitting in the chair. Because he's going to keep at it. He's not going to, lay off the gas.
No, he did not hit that ball good, though. He even had a little smirk like, ooh, I staggered that one home.
Yeah,
that was really the first ball, though, that looked like that.
Yeah, beautiful match. Lee Vann's played a lot of them in this event through the years, and I doubt there's been many more better played against him, right?
Match ball here.
Won't be slow rolled.
High quality performance there.
Yeah, great match, Konrad. He'll be gaining some fans after these last couple.
Yeah, you think? Yeah. We're gonna get to have another look at that great, yeah, hopefully. There it is, little inside spin.
Yeah, and again, he came into it perfectly to where it's a dangerous shot, but the way he shot it, not a ton could go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's going to be pretty near it. Maybe he doesn't get a shot, but he gets a safety. And so I'll tell you what, it's improved here at the Derby for me here on day 4. What an excellent 2 matches to get to our final later tonight.
Yeah, my adrenaline's up. Okay, everybody. Thank you for joining us on behalf of ACCUSTATS. That's our time for this time. Until next time, so long.